Hi, you guys. It is Thursday, October 15th, 2015. My name is Doris, and this is the Knit and Purl Podcast, episode 69, New Things. One being a hat, because my hair's a mess. So, hope it's not too distracting. This is a thank you hat from Purl Soho. It's got a little tassel there on the back. I love this hat. I enjoy knitting it. I don't know how it looks on me, but I figure the hat is better than all the white hair coming through. Okay, I told you, you can find the show notes for this podcast on knitandpurl.net. The Purl is P-E-A-R-L. In social media, I am One Fine Cow on Ravelry and Twitter. I am One Fine Design on Facebook and Etsy, the number one. And I'm Doris M. Smith, all lowercase and all smooshed together on Instagram. This podcast has a Ravelry group, which is the Knit and Purl podcast group. And there are links in the show notes that you can just click there and go to the group. We have one new member this week who is L. Clark 101896. Those are the numbers. It is Laura, and she's from Illinois, and Laura didn't introduce herself. She said that she watches my podcast at work, so I'm assuming that she's watching through iTunes. So thank you so much, Laura. Thank you for joining the group. Thank you for letting me know you're out there and that you're watching. Make yourself at home. Start a thread if you need to or if you want to, and join in all the fun. Thank you so much. This podcast has we have in the Ravelry group a birthday shout out. And this week we have one birthday who is J-A-M-L Knitter. Jamal Knitter, who is Lisa, and her birthday is tomorrow, the 16th. So happy birthday, Lisa. I hope that you have a wonderful day, that you get to spend it with friends and family, that you get good gifts, and that you eat cake if you want to. Happy birthday. Okay, this podcast has a October pink along for breast cancer awareness. It is a knit along or crochet along, and the rules are that you must be a member of the group to qualify for prizes. The project needs to have been started on October 1st or after and completed and posted by October 31st. And you can have as many entries as items completed of a yarny nature. Finished objects must be also pink in nature. Double dipping is welcome. Chatter is welcome and encouraged on the thread. The prize is a $6 or less giftable pattern on Ravelry, which has been donated by a fabulous listener and group members. So thank you so much. And I want to thank all of you in advance for your participation. Let's get those pink things knit up. So we go to story of the week and stash enhancement. There's no stash enhancement. None. But not really an exciting story. There's nothing that happened. I worked. I had, household chores, the regular stuff, cooking, cleaning. Ted's birthday was Monday, and we had a family October birthdays party on Sunday. So that was nice seeing all the family members. There were 4 October birthdays, so it was fun. It was nice seeing the grandkids, seeing the kids, and spending some time together. So, new things. I have been contemplating starting putting in little video inserts of different, maybe I don't know if I want to call them tutorials, because I don't consider myself a knitting expert or anything, but my first thing I was going to do, and I need to practice on my videoing and editing and everything, but doing a video on my, showing how I started out knitting, how, when I tried to correct it, how that was, and how I knit now. So that is one video that I will probably insert as soon as I can figure out everything. Also, if there is anything that you would like for me to do or to show, please leave comments on YouTube or in the Ravelry group thread, or you can contact me at knitandpearlpodcast@gmail.com. And I would thank you so much for your input to help this be a little bit better podcast with a little bit more content that's a little bit more exciting than my regular, always same old whips. So anyway, if you have something that you would like for me to show or to do, please contact me in all those areas, and I would thank you so much for your input. And gosh, going awfully fast this time. No foes. There are no foes still. Whips, yes, many. Many whips. We'll start with what I have in what I can grab, which is in my Joanne Springs Knitspinfarm bag. Links in the show notes to her Etsy store. These are very awesome bags, very nice. With her little tag. Let me see if I can show you. Knitspinfarm. She also has a podcast. So, my Freesia, which is a paid for pattern on Ravelry by Jumper Cable Knits. The yarn is Morocco Vintage DK. The colorway is a number 2083. Die lot number. It is 52% acrylic, 40% wool, and 8% nylon. I am knitting this on my US 6 4mm squares, and this on 40-inch circulars, and this has a story this week. Ted and I were sitting down to watch The Voice. We wanted to watch The Voice this week because there is a blind man who is performing, so we wanted to kind of watch that, which we found out later that he is performing next Monday. So, I'll hold it up, show it to you, and show you that I don't have a progress place. Let's see, I was at 18 and I am just above 18, starting on 19, because I had to do some backwards knitting this week. We were sitting down in the living room, and it's a little dark in there in the family room. And I was sitting down ahead of the show trying to start knitting. I was in the lace section and I dropped a stitch or two. I don't know. And I contemplating just going ahead and knitting because I had the right number of stitches, but there was these two huge holes. And I was like, I can't deal with that. So I ended up ripping back and putting a lifeline in. So I knitted backwards for 2.5 rows so that I could get back to where I had the right patterning going. As you can see, I did it. I got it back together, but I'm still just over where I was last week because I didn't rip back. I knit backwards until I got to where I was and could correct the situation. So, yeah. I love this pattern. I want this to be something that I enjoy using and wearing, and I'm proud of, and I wouldn't have been proud of it had there been two huge holes. There are mistakes. If I'm going to be honest and show you, I have a mistake right there. If you can see, I can't see if you can see. There's I made a mistake here. But I was, it's just such a tiny thing that most people won't even notice it. I don't know what I did. I made a mistake, but I was able to correct it, and you can't see it. Most people who don't knit won't see that little flub there. So, but the 2 huge holes in the patterning, yeah, you would have seen. So that's my story on that. Hopefully next week there will be a little more progress. My Rose City Rollers, which is a free pattern on Ravelry by Mara Catherine Briner. I am using my carbons. Where are they? 2.75 double point needles, carbons, US 2. And I got some progress. I'm so happy with myself. I'm trying to see. So I got that much. I have 5 projects I'm working on, okay? Plus spinning. So I think I did very well. This is sock number 2. I told you that. The yarn I'm using is called, it's Plymouth Yarns Stiletto, which is 70% superwash merino wool and 23% nylon and 7% Lorax, which is the sparkle. And the colorway is a number. It is 802. Yep. So, there's sock number 1, so you can see all the beautiful colors. In my bag that I got from Made by Faye on YouTube, she also has a podcast, Spinning a Yarn Monday. Fernanda. So pretty. I won this last year in her birthday giveaway. It's a knot bag with sheepies. I'm so excited to show the next thing because look, it's off the needles, but it's not done. My Simple Raglan Cardi, which is a free pattern on Ravelry by Lion Brand Yarns. The yarn is Loops and Threads Snuggly Wuggly. Loops and Threads Snuggly Wuggly. The color is Doodle Dots. 100% acrylic. There's that. What is that? Yeah, you can see the name Doodle Dots. And the dye lot is up here. You can't hardly see it. Anyway. Okay. Gonna do it. Because I can. Haha, Becky, you're not gonna get this one. It fits. Yay. That's my sister, by the way. I told you last week she gets all the stuff that that doesn't fit me. But this fits. Fits the way I want it to. It's not gonna meet in the middle, because in the pattern, if you look at the pattern, it meets up here, but it doesn't meet down here, and I'm okay with that. There will be a 2-inch on each side, well, 1.5-inch ribbing on each side. Nice, cute little cardi, and I'm so happy with it. And it fits. The sleeves should be just fine. Yay! Success! Let me take it off and tell you about it. It's a free pattern, I told you that, free pattern unraveled by Lion Brand Yarns. I'm using 7 and 8s. 7 is 4.5 millimeter and 8s are 5.5 millimeter. Addy turbos, 4-inch circulars. The pattern calls for 6 and 7s, which are 6s are 4 millimeter, 7s are 4.5. But I'm using bigger because I wanted knitting the biggest size, and I wanted it to be more able to fit, and it does. Also modify the pattern. It's a little bit longer than what the pattern called for, and I added garter sections because of, and yeah. But okay, you know, if you've been around any amount of time, the stockinette was just too much. So I added a garter ridge every 15 just to kind of break it up a little bit. And at the end I was done. And I did like 5 ridges of just plain knitting. Then I did 1.5 inches of the ribbing as the pattern called for. However, you're supposed to go down to the smaller, and I didn't want to. I wanted it to be bigger. So in the sleeves, I probably will go down to the smaller size for the ribbing. Just because, but very happy. I took it off the needles last night, and I immediately went and tried it on and was very happy. That is coming along. It'll soon be wearable. And lastly, what is in this bag? It's not lastly, because there's a couple more things that I've been working on. In my Joy in Springs Knitspinfarm bag, links in the show notes, I have my back to scarf. And I made quite a bit of progress. I'm on the second ball, so that means I'm decreasing now. The back to scarf is a free pattern on Ravelry, which links to a Flickr, which has the pattern by Strickless, STRIKKELISE. My yarn I'm using is Red Heart Boutique Unforgettable. The color is stained glass, and it's fuzzy yarn. I love this stuff. It's like a single, but it's acrylic. And I'm knitting it on my US 7 4.5 4-inch circular, and these are the Knitter's Pride Dreams. Here it is. I started the decreasing. Here's where I was last week. Got a good amount done, and here's where it's decreasing. So we're going backwards now, but there's where I was last week. This one got a lot of love this week. And no knitting backwards. I love it. I think it's going to be just what I want. Something to throw around my back to take the chill off. But the colors, oh my goodness. I love them. I love it. The trick, and see, I'm using wooden needles, and it's some sticky, but not bad. On the Cardi, it's kind of plasticky, but using the Addies, which is metal, it makes it a little bit more enjoyable. And I'm just going to show this, but I didn't really do a lot on this. Maybe 2 rounds. This is my, what am I calling it? Crochet tunic pattern that I'm working on, but like I said, I only added probably 2 rounds. So it's gonna join when I get when I have chance to like measure and figure out where I am. I will like join here, do increases and make the body of it, and then come back up and do a little cap sleeve or something. This will be something that you could wear with like a shirt underneath with leggings. I want it to be long enough to, you know, be maybe mid-thigh, if that's not too heavy. To cover up, like wear it with like leggings and a shirt under it. So it's still a work in progress. There's so many things on the needles right now that it's not getting a big amount of attention. Still plan on, as soon as the needle is empty, pulling back out the shrug pattern, getting it worked up, getting it sent out to test knitters. So when that's ready, I'll put a thread in the Ravelry group and ask for test knitters. Sorry, I look stupid. Well, starting to bother me, but we're almost done. Okay, don't look in the camera. Don't look in the camera. There we go. Sorry. Spinning. I finished the first 2 ounces of my Pullworth from YarnGeekFibers in the colorway Slice of Lemon wrapped around a large golden brick. Here's what it looks like. The first 2 ounces. I started the second 2, so it's got kind of a pinky red and yellow and a little white and pink. Well, a little white and red, which made pink right here. So there it is. My YarnGeekFibers Pullworth Slice of Lemon wrapped around a golden brick. I think this will be something fun to knit on in the winter. Just that. So we're moving on to Pinterest and Stumble. Unplug my iPad. I noticed the battery was getting kind of low, so wanted it to be able to make it through the podcast. So we have the first one. Pinterest is it's from Sugar Pop. Not a Trick. 15 healthy and adorable Halloween treats. So there's a link in the show notes so you can go and look at them. Number 1 is called Frankenkiwi. I'm trying to see how I can better show you this. Frankenkiwi. And there's like a link to show you how to make it. Clementine pumpkins. A witch's hand, which you use like a surgical or like your food worker glove. You can fill with popcorn, add an almond or candy corn, and tie it up and put a spider ring on it. This is kind of yucky looking, but it's actually sausage ball with olive for a funky looking eye. Mummy dogs. I don't know how that's healthy, but okay. Maybe turkey dogs, I don't know. A monster apple bite. Like I said, there's links to show you. Pretzel broom. Sorry about the glare. But it's pretzels with cheese, sliced cheese that you kind of decorate to make look like a broom. Apple mummy. Trying to make it where you can see it. A meringue ghost. And this is Mummy Cups with Halloween popcorn. And they say this is just your kid's favorite popcorn. Add candy bats for an extra Halloween fun. You just wrap the cup with some tissue paper. Make it, put eyes, spooky eyes, and there you go. And then they have soups and dips and sandwiches. Different ways that you can decorate them to make them look spooky. And there is a DIY banana mummy. Banana ghost with clementine pumpkins. There is a spooky spider egg. And there, like I said, there's like, that's olives. They look like spider. Spider sandwiches. And that was number 15. So that's that. It's kind of fun. Since Halloween is well on its way. This is the 15th. Halfway through the month. So we'll go to Stumble. This week it is 5 valuable lessons for learning any new skill. And it is by the School of Life. Links in the show notes to this Stumble. 5 valuable lessons for learning any new skill. And of course he likes it to surfing or rollerblading. Says, I'm just going to read the beginning and then read the titles for the other parts. It says, when we set out to learn anything new and we're excited, it often doesn't live up to our immediate expectation because we don't have the experience to perform at the top of our game. But if we can get past the hump and overcome the learning curve, that's where the really amazing thing happens. A few days ago, I decided to satisfy a rather silly childhood dream of learning how to skateboard. Given that I live at my parents' about an hour away from the ocean, I needed to find an alternative to surfing that I would enjoy, and skateboarding seemed like the natural fit. So his tips, 5 tips. I'm assuming that it's a he, but starting is the hardest part. If anything, getting starting is hardest part. When you surf for he's using the surf thing. I'm just going to show you the different titles. Starting is the hardest part. Number 1, just get started. Find the balance. I mean, he says for surfing, but in all that we do, we need to find the balance. Not spend so much time doing it that we burn ourselves out. And make people angry because that's all we're doing is what we want to learn to do. Number 3, the longer you do it, the better you get. And number 4, the better you get, the more you enjoy it. And number 5, the more you enjoy it, the less it seems like a chore. So, that is all I have for you today. There is in the show notes a link to my Etsy store. I'd really appreciate it if you go over and look at it and maybe find something as a Christmas gift, and I would really appreciate it. Or just go and like some things and get it out there in the universe for other people to see. So, thank you so much. If you watch on iTunes, I see that in my, let me just ramble a minute. In my Podbean feed, which goes to iTunes, it shows the amount of views there, but it also shows the feed hits, which is tremendous. A lot of feed hits. So I'm assuming that is iTunes people watching, and I noticed that I have no ratings, no star ratings, no comments, no. So if you're watching on iTunes, I would be so happy if you would leave a star rating, leave a comment, leave a review. Let me know you're out there and that you're watching, that you're enjoying it, you hate it, you want me to shut up, all of that. Just so I will know somebody's out there really watching. And I would thank you so much. Bye, you guys. See you next week.